guys, welcome back to my channel. It's your girl T Milan. I am back with another video, and right now I'm in my salon space, and I wanted to do a quick video for you guys. Well, I actually don't know how long this video is going to be, but I want to do a video for you guys to show you the things that you need for an acrylic full set. If you guys were ever interested in doing an acrylic full set, these are all the tools that you would need to start doing acrylic full sets or acrylic refills or working with acrylic anything. These are basic tools that you can get from your nail supply store, you can get from Amazon. So I just wanted to make sure, I just wanted to come in here and make this video for you guys, because I know I've been telling you guys I wanted to do more teaching, and I know you guys like my car chats, but I definitely said I wanted to do more teaching. I want to do more like informal videos, like giving you guys like more information into the nail industry and just showing you guys what I know. So without further ado, we're going to go ahead and jump into the video. I finally got the salon studio to myself because I am in a shared space with other people, so it's nobody here. It's after hours, so I'm just comfortable enough where I can just relax. I can talk to my phone, aka the camera, and I can record. And so yeah, so let's get into the video. So the first thing that you would need when you're doing an acrylic full set is you definitely need like your metal tools. You need your cuticle pusher, you need your cuticle cutter, and maybe your nail clippers. The reason why I say nail clippers is because like right now, I don't know if you guys can really see, but right now I have nails. My natural nails have grown. So you might want to trim your client's nails before you lay the nail tip on top of it. And you can use the nail clipper to do so. Also, when you're doing acrylics, when you first start out, the first step is to push the cuticles back. That's the first thing we're going to do, is push the cuticles back with our cuticle pusher. There's also wooden cuticle pushers that you can use, but I really don't spend my money on it. I just rather get the metal cuticle pushers. It's better. I can just clean them. It is what it is. I'm not buying new ones over. It is what it is. And then once you push the cuticles back, you go ahead and clip the cuticles. Now, I will let you guys in on a little bit of secret. Depending on where you work at, that might be a fee. So I'm somebody where I've worked in Asian salons and I've also worked in black salons. In black salons, it's part of the service to cut the cuticles, but in Asian salons, they charge you extra. That's an extra cost. So I'm just giving you guys the differences of what I experienced. Please don't read too far deep into it. But in my professional opinion, I think that you should cut the cuticles every single time. Now, whether you want to charge extra for that, that's your business. But I think it should be a part of the service, just because it makes your work look neater. Like, if somebody has thick cuticles and you pushing their cuticles back, you going in and pushing their cuticles back, and their cuticles just sitting up there on the nail, and then you laying acrylic. First of all, that messes with your work. Because if you get any of that acrylic on top of the cuticle, if you don't get it all the way off, it will cause lifting. That's for one. And for two, it just makes your work look nasty. It doesn't look nice. It doesn't look finished because you didn't cut that cuticle off. It just, maybe to the customer, or to a customer that doesn't know better, because some of these customers, they hip to it and they know better. But maybe to a customer that don't know better, or they don't know what it looks like for a nail to be really fully cleaned up with the cuticles cut, they may not cause a fuss about it. They may not see nothing wrong with it, but you going to run into that customer that's going to know what it looks like to have their nails clean, to have that cuticle cut, and they're going to be looking at your work like, ew, like, she laid this beautiful set of acrylic nails on my hands, but yet my cuticles look crazy. They look nasty. So in my professional opinion, I think that every time you do a full set, you do a refill, when you're working with, it could be acrylic, it could be with anything you do on a nail, push them cuticles back and cut them. Don't just push them back, but cut them. So this is the first step I feel as though you need for an acrylic full set. You need your instruments, you need your tools, you need your metal tools, and these are something that you can clean. So once you're done with them, you scrub them, and I'm going to actually make a video, a how-to video of how to clean your metal tools as well. But you scrub them and then you soak them in the barbicide for 10 minutes. And also, if you want to put them in the autoclave afterwards, you can do that. These are clean. They're in a sterilized bag, so these have been cleaned. So that's that. So once you have pushed the cuticles back, you cut the cuticles, you may have cut the natural nail down. You want to go ahead and remove the shine off the nail. So the second thing that you would need is a drill bit. How you going to do acrylics if you don't have a drill bit? You need a drill bit, y'all. You need a drill bit. So with that being said, as well as a drill bit, you need a drill. Excuse me, y'all. I'm a little goofy today. You need a drill. I had a long day. I had a very hard day, and I'm pushing out content today. Okay, so you need a drill. And with your drill, you need drill bits. So this right here, guys, is a sanding band. And this is actually the sanding band. This takes place of a file. This and this is the same thing. It's the same thing. This is the same thing. The only thing is this is a part of an e-file. So it's more electronic file. It's more easier for your hands. But it does the same thing. These are the same thing, guys. The sanding band, this bit, it's called a, I'm sorry, let me get my terminology correct. This is called a mandrel bit. This is called a sanding band. But this sanding band is the same thing as this. Sanding band comes in different grits. You can get fine, you can get medium, or you can get coarse bits. It comes in different grits. But this is called a sanding band. This is called a sanding band. Ooh. And I actually have a pack of it here. I'll show y'all. This is a fine. This is fine, but this is a fine pack of sanding bands. So if you have your sanding bands, you have a mandrel bit. Now, once you've completed the first process, the first step, which is pushing the cuticles back, cutting the cuticles, clipping the natural nail if you need to, then you will go in with your sanding band, your mandrel bit sanding band, and you will remove the shine off of the nail, right? So you need these things. I want to show you guys some more bits that I have, because not only do you need the mandrel bit, you also need fine bits. I have different ones. I have a lot of different bits. I'm not gonna go through all of them. You can get 5-in-1 bits. I think this is a fine bit. This is a fine bit. I'm the type of girl where I'll buy a bit and I'll try it and see if I like it and see if I can apply it to my work. If I do, I'll keep using it. If not, it just sits in my little case. I also have this bit. I think this is honestly, I think this is a fine bit. I got this from the nail supply store, my local nail supply store. But this thing cut. Okay, these two things, they cut. When I do acrylic removals, I use these, and these are fine bits. But when I do acrylic removals, I use these, and they cut right through the acrylic. This is some good quality. But you can go to Pana if you guys, because I got these two off of my local nail supply store, like I said. But you guys can go on Pana, on Amazon.com, and look up Pana, and you can buy bits off of Pana. They are good bits. You can also get brushes off of Pana. They're good brushes. These two came off of Pana. This is a coarse bit. This is a medium bit. These are ceramic bits. They say these are good for removing gel polish off the natural nail. I mean, I've done it before. I've also got metal bits off of Pana. This is a coarse bit. So I got cuticle bits in here. Oh, cuticle bits are good too. For helping you lift that cuticle off the nail, guys. It's very important to get that cuticle off the nail, Because if you don't get that cuticle off the nail, your work is going to lift. And no matter what you do, if you're doing gel manicures, if you're doing poly gel, if you're doing hard gel, if you're doing acrylics, if you don't get that cuticle off the nail, it will lift. So if you want to invest in some cuticle bits, invest in some cuticle bits. So I got a whole thing of cuticle bits, regular bits, medium bits, fine bits, ceramic bits. I done tried them all. I just bought this bit. This is actually a bit for long nails. I haven't used it yet. I just bought it today. I just took my long nails off because I use color acrylic with it, and I want to go back to clear acrylic. So I am going to use this probably tomorrow when I put my new full set on because I'm definitely doing long nails again. So I'll let you guys know how this bit goes, but this is for long nails. So you need, just to recap, you need your metal instruments, you need a e-drill, you need drill bits, you need the mandrel, you need the sanding band, you need your drill bits. Once you have prepped the nail, which is take the shine off the nails, cut the cuticles, cut the nail down, we are going to dehydrate the nail. Now, if you want to buy a dehydrator, you can buy a dehydrator. Honestly, you really don't need to buy a dehydrator. You know what I use? I use alcohol, 100% alcohol. I mean, what, 70, I'm sorry, not 100%. That's 100% acetone. I use 70% alcohol. I'm just so tongue-tied on today. Like, I don't know what's going on, but okay. I use 70% alcohol. That's what I use for my nails, to dehydrate my nails. It works. It's old school. And I'm not an old school nail tech, but I've listened to old school nail techs. That works. I'm not buying nothing. If y'all know how it is in the nail industry, we buy a lot of stuff. So if I can cut or save somewhere here and there, that's what I'm going to do. So in the nail industry, in the nail salon, we use a lot of alcohol. We use a lot of the rubbing alcohol. So, you know, this is basically kind of like killing two birds with one stone type of thing. We use a lot of alcohol in our services. So might as well use it as a dehydrator as well. Now, some people say you can use 100% acetone as a dehydrator. I don't. I just prefer to use the alcohol. So after we dehydrate the nail, we got to go in next with the primer. Now, this is a generic primer. This is actually, I bought this as an empty bottle and I filled it up with some primer from the nail salon that I work at. So this is like a generic primer, but if you guys were interested in, if you live in a small town and you don't have a local nail supply store and you got to get all of your stuff from online, you can also use Young Nail Protein Bond as your primer, and this works just as well. Okay, so dehydrate and prime. Don't ask me about no bonding, because keep it a bean with you, I feel like you don't even really need bonder. When I'm actually working in the salon, they don't use bonder. They dehydrate the nail and they prime the nail and they go on. They don't use bonder and all that. Listen, bonder is like an extra step in my, I don't even fully know what you need bonder for. You probably do need bonder for acrylics. I don't know. But, you know, I do acrylic sets and they last for 5 weeks, and I don't use bonder. But to each their own. Every nail tech is different. Everybody has their own process. Everybody has their own steps. I'm telling you what works for me. I use the alcohol to dehydrate, and I use a primer. That's it. If you want to use Young Nail primer, you can use Young Nail primer, the protein bond, or I guess it is a bond. I don't know. Bond primer. You can use that product, or you can go to your local nail supply store and test out their primer and see how you like it. I like my local nail supply store primer. It once I put it on, and I'm gonna tell you how it's a good primer, because once you put it on, it looks like it's sticky. When you got that shiny, it is kind of shiny, but you kind of got that shiny sticky look on the nail. Once you dehydrate it and you put that primer on, and it kind of looks shiny but it's sticky looking, that's a good primer. That's how you can tell you got a good primer, when it looks like a sticky layer. And it actually, if you touch it, it will be kind of sticky. That's how you know you got a good primer. This is a good primer. So we got our primer, we got our alcohol, we got our drill bits, and we got our metal instruments. Next, we have our nail tips. So if you're doing a full set of acrylics, 9 times out of 10, your client might want nail tips. If you're not doing an overlay, you're probably going to be adding length, so you want nail tips. I'm gonna let y'all in on another secret because this is for my beginners. It is good to invest into shape nail tips, pre-shaped nail tips. So these are square tips. These are square tips, but I do have some tips like this, which is coffin. These are pre-shaped coffin, and I also have some pre-shaped stilettos, which I'm going to do in my next set. So if you was ever interested in cutting your time down, get some pre-shaped tips. And this is another tip for you guys. When you put the pre-shaped tips on, okay, so when you put the tips on and you lay in the acrylic on, it's going to make the tips thicker. So with my coffin shaped pre-tips, when I put the acrylic on top of that, it makes them into square, and then I have to go in and kind of sort of reshape them. So my advice, my professional advice to you guys, once you put your pre-shaped I'm tongue-tied today, I don't know what's going on with me. Once you put your pre-shaped tips on, make sure you are filing it even thinner. That way, when you lay your acrylic down on your pre-shaped tips, you still got that nice shape. You get what I'm saying? Because again, like I said, I have coffin shaped tips, and when I put my coffin shaped pre-shaped tips on my nails and I lay my acrylic, it turns into square. So now I'm basically back to square one. I gotta file that square into the shape that I want. And a lot of times, even when I'm wiping the sides as I'm laying the acrylic, it still end up not being the type of coffin that I want, or if I want ballerina. It just depends. I suggest, even when you use pre-shaped tips, just make it a little bit more skinnier and allow for the acrylic to be on there. Allow for you to lay the acrylic on there, and it allow for the acrylic to, it's going to give a little bit more space. So if you're doing stiletto nails and you put a stiletto tip on there, well, stiletto actually might not be that bad. It just depends on how skinny you want your stiletto to be. But you know, still just go in just a little bit, just make it a little bit more skinnier, because you know when you lay that acrylic on, it's going to make it a little bit thicker. So just allow for that space. So that's just a little tip, just a little bit of some like newbie advice. So you also want to have glue, nail glue, because how you going to put the tips on your nails if you ain't got no nail glue, yo? Like, for real. So make sure you have a tube of nail glue. You can get, I use KDS glue. This is a really good glue. A lot of people use it. We use it in the nail salon. You can get this off of Amazon as well. Also, a little tip for this as well: keep the glue in the refrigerator. It will help it to last a little bit longer. You can have a tube in your desk, but a lot of times these KDS glues, they come in like 10 and they wrap them up in a rubber band. So keep the rest of it in the refrigerator if you want them to last a little bit longer. But the one that you're using, you know, keep it on your desk, keep it on your person, keep it on, you know what I'm saying? You keep it on you. But the other ones, the other 9, make sure you put them in the refrigerator so that you can kind of like preserve them so they won't dry out. Because the glue will dry out, okay? So once you put your tips on, get you a tip cutter. Period. You got your tip on, put your little boop, boop, boop. Get you a tip cutter, y'all. Get you a tip cutter. Now, some people do use scissors. You can use scissors. I do have some nail scissors right here. If you guys want, you can have some nail scissors. You know, sometimes you might only have square tips and your client wants stiletto nails. So go ahead and use sometimes the scissors give you a precise shape, a more precise shape. So, you know, that's a little tip. You can also use nail scissors to you know, sharpen your shape up. That's what you want to do. If you don't already have pre-shaped tip and you're only working with square and your client wants stiletto, or they want almonds, or they want something, you can go ahead with your nail scissors and use that. Or you can also use your nail scissors to cut down the length. but you can also use a tip cutter to cut down the length of the tip. Also with the, this is a little extra, y'all. This is a little extra. It's a little bonus. But also with the tip cutter, I sometimes use these magnets, and this can determine the length. Now, this is for the girls that's really doing the nails, okay? Now, if you get the girlies, I'm talking about the girls that's doing the long nails, and you just want to make sure that you're charging them accurately for the length that they're getting. Get you some of these magnets. These will help you in terms of length, in terms of charging accurately for your clients. You know, you might say, okay, well, let me see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. You might say, okay, well, if you're at 6 magnets, then this is considered long. So I'm going to charge you $65 for a long full set of nails, of acrylic nails. So, you know, get you these, because these definitely do help when it comes down to pricing. It's extra, but you know, it's worthy. And you can just, the magnet attaches right onto your tip cutter. Nothing special. So after you've gotten the tips on the nails, we're going to go in, and our nails has already been prepped, and our nails has already got the primer on there, our tips are on there, all that good stuff. We are going to go ahead and lay the acrylic. So you guys need acrylic brushes. Now, a little bit of advice on the acrylic brush. I have different sizes acrylic brushes because everybody has different size nails. And not only that, everybody gets different lengths. Now, I have a 20-inch. Now, a 20-inch is good for people that have longer nails because I can pick up more powder with a bigger brush. Just my preference. I know people that only work with a 20, 22, 24. They only work with big brushes. Whether the person is getting a short set or a long set, they only work with big brushes. I prefer to work with a smaller brush, depending on the nail bed, the size of the nail bed, or depending on the length that my client wants to get. If my client has a small nail bed and I'm using a size 20 and above brush, now I gotta like really measure out because the bigger the brush, the more monomer it holds. So now you got to sit there and calculate and measure out how much liquid is in there and how much powder you have to use, because they got a small behind this. I'm telling you, I've had clients that have teeny tiny nail beds. This big brush ain't gonna work on them teeny tiny nail beds. Like I'm gonna have to play with the ratio. Now I'm sitting here wasting time because I got to get the ratio right to do a full set on you. Not everybody have average size nail beds. So what you want to do is have a variety of sizes of brushes. That's what I want to do. I want to have a variety of sizes of nail brushes so I could be prepared. And especially you don't, like I said, you don't know what length people are going to get. So I have a bigger brush. I have a size 20 brush for the girls that get longer nails because it'll allow me to pick up more products. And I can put more product down on the nail and it'll save me some time. And also maybe if the girl, like for instance, for me, I have nice size nail beds. So honestly, for myself, when I'm laying acrylics, whether I'm doing short nails or long nails, I tend to use the size 20 brush anyway, just because my nail beds are wide enough and they're big enough for me to do it. But like I said, not every woman has, or every person I should say, has nice shaped size nail beds. Like I always used to get compliments on my nail beds, even before I was doing nails and I used to go to the nail salon. They're like, oh, you got nice nail beds, you got nice nail beds. I never really understood it until I started doing nails. Like I really do have nice nail beds to work with. So I use the size 20 on myself, even when I'm not doing super long nails. But it is what it is. But you will run into people that have a really small nail beds or have smaller nail beds. You don't want to be using that big brush. I mean, like I said, every nail tech is different. So whatever you feel comfortable with. Like I said, I do know nail techs that only use the big brushes. Whether it's a little nail bed, short nails, long nails, they only use big brushes. So they have gotten used to and accustomed to using it. I haven't gotten used to using a big brush on a small nail. So I also have a size 12. Now, for you guys that are beginners, I suggest you start at a size 12. I remember when I was a beginner, I listened to this girl. I watched her YouTube videos, and she suggested that you do a size 8. And I brought a size 8 brush, and I hated it because it took me so long. Do not get a size 8 brush. It's going to take you forever, especially if you get a client coming in that's asking for a long set or a medium set. You're going to be doing that forever because a size 8 brush can only hold but so much product. Start off with a size 12. That's my recommendation there. If you want to play around with the brushes and get a size 10 and get a size 8 in the size 12 and a size 14 and see where you fall at, see what's comfortable with you, you can do that. And I suggest that to y'all as well. Like, play around with the sizes, get different sizes of brushes and see what you're comfortable with. But my recommendation to start with is a size 12. A size 12 fits all. That's comfortable. It fits most nail bed types. It's comfortable. It's good to start off with and work with. That's my recommendation. And I also recommend that you get a larger size brush to cover the people that have either larger nail beds or that are getting longer nails, to cut down on your time. It's just a tip. It's just a suggestion. Take it how you want it. Every nail tech works differently. Some people work with size 8s and they do all of their sets with size 8s and that's comfortable for them. Yeah, size 8 never worked for me. It's like, girl, we gonna be here all day, me laying them little tiny beads on a size 8 brush to really like, no, it doesn't work for me. I prefer size, 12? I prefer size 12. But listen, if you want a size 14, you can get a size 14. My brushes are Kiara Sky, but Panna does have good brushes. Like I said, go on Amazon.com, look up Panna. Panna has good brushes, size 12, and I got a size 20. So it is what it is. So after you have a good brush, you also want to make sure you have your powder. This is your acrylic powder. And you also want to make sure you have your liquid monomer. Now, I do have Young Nails monomer. But I also have my local nail supply store monomer that I like as well. So play around with monomer. The whole big thing about monomer is it's not supposed to have what is it not supposed to have? It's not supposed to have oh my goodness. I'm drawing a blank, y'all. I'm drawing a blank. EMA or whatever. MMA. I'm talking about EMA. MMA. Your monomer is not supposed to have MMA. That's the biggest thing in the nail industry. Your monomer is not supposed to have MMA. It's like the end of the world if your monomer has MMA. So guys, make sure you just don't use it. MMA is something, is a monomer that's like kind of like old school, but it basically, from what I read about MMA, is it damages your nails in terms of if you use MMA monomer, which is the liquid, with a powder, the way it solidifies, it makes it really, really hard. So if your client goes and they break their nail, it will potentially break their real nail. Versus if you have a monomer, which is the liquid, without MMA, if they go to break their nail, it will break the acrylic and not their natural nail. That's the whole thing about the whole MMA thing. Besides it's just not healthy for you, I think it stains your nails. I don't even know. Just get a monomer that does not have MMA for the love of Jesus Christ. Get a monomer that does not have MMA so people will not bash you. Not only that, when you're removing nails, I think MMA is a little bit more like slimy and nasty versus non-MMA is a little bit more smoother to remove. So make sure you just get in a non-MMA liquid monomer. Your polymer is okay. The powder is okay. Polymer, powder. But the liquid monomer, no MMA. Also, while you are laying acrylics, you're going to need paper towels. a roll of paper towels, cut them up into little squares, because when you're laying your acrylic, guys, you go ahead and you dip in your monomer and you're wiping the side and you dip in your powder. You know, sometimes people dip their monomer, they wipe the side, they dip their powder, and sometimes they go ahead and dab it on the paper towel, and then they go ahead and lay it on the nail. So you need a paper towel for that. But sometimes people will, I'm not even sometimes, all the times, every time, once you dip it in the monomer, dip it in the powder, lay it on your nail, you wipe off the excess. You want to make sure that you are constantly wiping off the excess. Please get in the habit of every time you lay a bead, wipe. It's monomer, wipe the side, powder. You want to look at it, make sure it settles, make sure it forms a bead on your actual brush, and then lay it on the nail. Pat, 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 bring it down, pat, 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 pat. Y'all know. If you don't know, I'm going to teach you. Pat, 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 bring it down, and then wipe any excess product off of your brush, because it will harden and it can potentially ruin your brush. You do not want the monomer to harden on your brush. Now, as a newbie nail tech, I had the monomer, I had the product, the monomer powder combination. I had the acrylic harden on my brush, and I had to go soak it in some acetone. But you kind of want to avoid doing that as much as you probably will have to do it in your nail tech career. But we want to minimize that, because you don't want that harshness on your brush. It can ruin your brush over time. So guys, just make sure you wiping. Get in the habit of wiping. After you lay that bead, you pat, 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 you laid it. Once you finish doing what you're supposed to do in that nail, wipe. And then we start over. Pat, 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 bring it down, wipe. Period. Get into a habit of wiping your brush, and that's why you need paper towels. So once you have laid the acrylic on your nails, you gave yourself a full set, or you gave your client a full set, you laid the acrylic on your nails. Now we're gonna go on to shaping. You guys need this. You need this. This is a file. Now, there are different grits to a file. This is a 80-80 grit. When you are dealing with acrylic or any type of enhancement, you need 80-80. When you are dealing with the natural nail, we tend to go for like 180, 120. Those are more finer grits, and they work well with the natural nail. The reason why we choose fine grits for the natural nail is because if you was to use this harsh, coarse this harsh, coarse file on the nail, it could potentially cause little cracks in the nail. That's what the book says. And you can damage the natural nail. So we do not want to use any coarse, we don't want to use any coarse drill bits. These drill bits that I showed y'all, we do not want to use any coarse drill bits. We do not want to use any coarse sanding bands. We do not want to use any coarse files on the natural nail. We only use coarse and medium on enhancements only. That's it. So get you a file, get you a pack of files, y'all. I got a pack right here. Let me see. Actually, no. I gotta dig for them. I don't feel like digging for them, but they in here somewhere. I got a pack of coarse files. This is good. I'm telling you, this is gonna cut right through that acrylic. Now, I seen something where they had 60 nail files. The lower the number, the coarser the file is. I see something where they had 60. I was gonna grab them, but I never grabbed them. But this will cut down your time. Anything to cut down your time when it comes down to filing and shaping. I watched some girl live. I was on TikTok and watched some girl live, and she used like 120 a fine grit file to shape her acrylics. I said, this girl but finna be here all night. You finna be here all night just shaping your acrylics because you want to use a fine. No, y'all, come on. on. It's about saving time. Because when you work in a nail salon, when you work by yourself, it's two different things. You might be a little bit more lax when it comes to yourself, which you shouldn't be, but you might be a little bit more lax when it comes to yourself as far as timing. But when you in a nail salon, it's a hustle, because not only because you are sharing the customers with other people. So you kind of got to get that service done so you can move on to the next person. That's how it is working in salons, y'all. I'm telling y'all, I do both. I work in a salon and I rent my own space. I work on my own, but I also work in a salon. I'm telling you, where you're working in a salon and there's that busy season, it is a hustle. You don't want to be there 10 hours freaking shaping somebody's nails, and your coworkers done took 2 or 3 people and you still working on that one person. No, we want to do a good job. There is definitely a fine line between quality and time, and you have to define it. And as you become more of a professional, it will be more cohesive, where you'll be able to get your customers in and out and still produce quality. Now, don't rush your quality for your time. You'll get there. As long as you keep practicing, you keep going, you'll get there where you can get your customers in and out and also give them good quality. But again, I'm going to say, do not rush, do not skip over your quality. Always choose your quality first, point blank, period. You always want to produce quality, because that's what gets your people coming back. And sometimes people don't mind if you take a little bit longer, as long as they got quality. They don't mind paying and they don't mind sitting, as long as they know they're going to get that good quality. So always choose your quality first over time. But you still kind of want to make sure you getting done at a good time. And especially when you work in the salons, it's a hustle. So you really got to work on your quality and your timing at the same time, so they can meet and you can get your people in and out and you can still give them quality nails. But this is something that will definitely help cut down your time. It is a coarse file, a coarse nail file, 80/80 grit, that will cut through any enhancement, whether you're doing hard gel, whether you're doing poly gel, whether you're doing acrylic. It will cut through this, okay, with your shaping, and it will give you nice, crisp shape. I also have, this is also the pack I have, 100, 180. So this is really fine grit files. So this is used for natural nails. If you guys were doing like a gel manicure or something like that, you would use a 100, 180. You would use the higher numbers. The higher the number, the more fine it is. The lower the number, the more grittier it is. It's very coarse. So once you have completed laying your acrylics and you have shaped them, you will go ahead. You would go ahead again with your drill, and you would smooth it out. You would smooth out the surface, and then you would get one of these bits. Again, I use this bit. This is a fine bit, but when I tell you this thing cut through, I use this bit. Honestly, it's a fine bit, but it's a fine bit, but it act like it's a coarse bit. Like this thing cut. This is a good bit. So once you have laid your acrylic, you will go in and you will get you a bit, find you a bit, go around the cuticle area, you will seal the cuticles, and then you will go over the nails and you will smooth out the nails, because we want to smooth out the nails so that the polish can lay nice and smooth. Then you want to go over again with the fine sanding band, the one that you used earlier on your mandrel bit. You want to go ahead, turn that thing on. You want to go over it again just to make sure all the little kinks is out. Any little we got that out. After you've done that, now you're ready to polish. So what do you need to polish? Okay, you need, if your client is doing gel, you need a dryer. You need a UV dryer. So I have iGel Beauty. This is what all the salons I've been in, they use this one. They use particularly the Hybrid Pro 2.0. They use this one. Now I have one off of Amazon. I want to say it's Sunpay. I cannot think of the brand name, but it's a plug-in one. Now this one is portable. I plug it in to charge it. I can use it while it's on a charger, but when you're doing pedicures, this is good because it's portable, and also I could take the bottom off. So I can do pedicures. I can cure gel if they have gel on their feet. And when I'm doing the hands, I put the bottom back on. I reattach the bottom. And there you go. And like I said, this is portable. When you're working in a professional setting, you want to have a portable, and you're doing hands and feet. If you're working in a professional setting, you're doing hands and feet, I suggest you get a portable dryer. This is UV LED gel dryer. Get you one. Now you can go on Amazon. Like when I first started out, I went off Amazon. It's cool, and actually it still works today. And I bought that in 2020, and we're in 2025, and it still works till today. And it has a removable bottom. Make sure you get one that has a removable bottom. For the love of Christ, please get a removable bottom. It's a removable bottom. The only thing about it is it's not portable, so it has to stay attached to the cord in order for me to use it. So I bought me another one. Ajo. Every salon I worked at, they use this exact one. They have different colors. They got the white one, but I use the Hybrid Pro 2.0. That's a good strength. It cures that gel polish. It's very good. No chipping, no problems. When you're picking a UV LED dryer, wattage matters. I don't know what wattage this is. What wattage this is? Actually, it doesn't even say. It just says, oh, a voltage is 15V 3A. So 15V, I guess 15 voltage. UV LED lamp. Yeah. Yo, get y'all a good one. Get you a professional one. If you're doing it professionally. If you're just doing it in the house by yourself, it don't matter. It's just you. Get whatever cheap flimsy one. But like I said, I'm gonna go in the house and I'm gonna look up the brand that I bought off of Amazon. It's actually a really good brand, and I didn't spend a lot of money on it. But like I said, the only thing is it's not portable. So, but it's a really good brand I got off of Amazon, and I'm definitely going to link it in my description. I'm going to put a note in this video so you guys can see it. So to finish it off, once you are done drilling, you need a brush to wipe off that dust. You tell your clients to go wash their hands, then you start with polishing. You need a base coat, you need a top coat. I like Cooper top coat because it's shiny, shiny, shiny. I do like iGel Beauty base coat and top coat as well if y'all wanted to use that. And then you would use, obviously they put their hand in there and they'll dry it, your UV LED light. And I skipped the steps. Sorry guys. Let me back it up. Let's back it up real quick. So once you smoothed out the nail with your drill bits and your E-file, you go in with this. You go in with your buffer. So you need a buffer, guys. I'm so sorry. I missed this step real quick. You need a buffer. So after you finish, you laid the acrylic on there, you sealed your cuticles, you went over the enhancement, the acrylic, or whatever it is that you're doing, you smoothed it out, you went over it with the sanding band as well and made sure it was smooth, got any little bumps and kinks out. You go over with your buffer, you buff the nails. You tell your client to go wash their hands. They go wash their hands. They come back. They sit down in your chair. Then you can either use a paper towel, a piece of paper towel, or you can also use a no-lint wipe, a lint-free wipe. You spray it with your alcohol, and then you clean off the nail. Clean off the nail. And then after you do that, then you go in and you polish. I'm sorry guys, I got a little bit ahead of myself. So I'm going to repeat that. Once we have finished laying down the acrylic, we go in with our drill bits. Pick a drill bit, whatever you're comfortable with. You go around the cuticle area, you seal that cuticle. The reason why we seal the cuticle is because we don't want lifting. So we're sealing that cuticle, and then you go over the nail with it because you want to smooth out that nail. You should be able to touch that nail and it should be smooth. It should feel like a baby's bottom. It should be smooth. And then you want to go over it again. I always like to go over it again with the fine grit sanding band over the nail again, just to make sure. Then after I do that, I go in with my buffer, buff it out. My client goes to wash their hands. soap and water doesn't matter because I'm going to clean the nail off anyway. A lot of salons suggest that they do not use soap because soap has oils in it, and we know oil and gel polish do not mix. I suggest, this is just a tip that's kind of like, it's just a random tip, but if you're doing a gel manicure and when you tell your clients to go wash their hands, that they do not use soap because, again, soap adds oil onto the nail. But either way, it doesn't matter, whatever. So when your client comes back and they sit down in your chair, you will take either a fresh paper towel or whatever you have, or preferably a no lint wipe, because we don't want lint on the nails. You ever go to paint somebody's nails and they got lint on it? It's very annoying. So we want no, if you want, you can get this is off Amazon too. Expert Touch no lint wipes by OPI. You guys can go on and get that from Amazon. Use the alcohol. This is the part where we use the alcohol, right? Again, so we use the alcohol, boop, 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 spray the no lint wipe the nail down, then we go ahead and polish. So that's all the things that you need, honestly, to complete an acrylic full set. I'm trying to think. Also, make sure you guys have a mask handy. You want to make sure you're wearing a mask. Right now, this is February. We are in cold and flu season. You should be wearing a mask for every client. I'm telling you, people come in with strep throat and all. Honestly, I prefer, I suggest that you guys tell your clients to wash their hands before they sit down, because we are in cold and flu season. People be doing all types of stuff with their hands and touching stuff and touching their nose and blowing their nose. And listen, wash your hands, then come sit in my chair, and then I can start your service. So wearing a mask every service is crucial, especially when you are filing and you are drilling, because that dust, even if you do have a dust collector, it's still going to be more dust. So make sure you are covering your nose. And if you're trying to be longevity in this field, wear a mask. It's something so small, but it will help you out. I also do have a nail duster. So if you guys don't already have a dust to have a nail duster in it, I suggest that you buy a nail duster. My nail duster is on the side. Y'all can't even see it. It's out of camera view, and I don't feel like getting up right now to go get it. But make sure you get one of those dust collectors that will collect the dust. It's a machine you can put it on your desk. You turn it on, and when you go to file, it will suck in the dust for you. And then once you're done using it, you take the cover off and you empty the dust into the trash. It is a tremendous help. It is good for your health, and I suggest that you have it if you don't have a desk that has the dust collector already built into it. Just little tips so you guys can have longevity into the nail industry and take care of your health and take care of yourself, because when that dust gets in your lungs cannot naturally get rid of it. So I don't know what happens over time. If you have asthma like me, you're probably going to be screwed, and it probably could kill you over time. To be honest with you, that product, that acrylic dust in your lungs, and you doing this for years and years and years and years, and it's piling up because you refuse to use a dust collector or a mask or things like that. Like, take the precautions so you guys can have longevity in this business. Take care of your health. Even if something as small as doing like hand exercises, like doing stuff like this, stretching your hands out every day before a service, stuff like that. Yes, take care of yourself. Take care of your hands. These are your money makers. Take care of your hands. They come first. And take care of your health so you can have longevity. So this concludes the video. I've been wanting to do this video since forever. I'm kind of rushed it, but I got everything important out that you guys need to know, everything that you need to have in order to do a full set. I know I stumbled over my words in the beginning. It is what it is. I ain't make a video in a minute, y'all, and I'm not redoing this video, so y'all gonna get this video as it is because it's late and I'm gonna go home. So make sure you guys like and subscribe to my channel, and I will have more educational things on my channel for you guys. I'll talk to you later. See you in the next video. Bye.